Meghan and Harry, are they about to hold our brand new king, King Charles III, to ransom? As ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Thank you as ever for joining me. Nice to have your company. We just keep rising and truly it's all thanks to you. I know I often say this, but thank you so much for watching. We've all got busy lives, haven't we? And it's hard to find the time, you know. And I know a lot of people, you'll think of me as an education, won't you? You think, well, I've learned something there, not to watch that. I can tell. Yes, I'm talking to you. That's right. But also thank you for your very kind comments about the recent out and abouts that we've been on, particularly Home Firth. I think everybody loved Home Firth. That is Last of the Summer Wine Country, the TV series that ran for years and years. The day we went, it was raining, so I would recommend if you are going up to that area of that particular county, do grab yourself an umbrella, because apparently it does have a lot of rain. And when you're there and you just see the green lush trees and you know, the beck and the river and everything, you think, yes, I can see how it does. And when you watch the TV show, we were watching a few reruns the other night, and they had sun, and you're thinking, I wonder what day they found that. You know what it's like, don't you? Back as ever though to your breaking royal story of the day. A lot of people were kind of stunned, as many, you know, were around the world, when Meghan and Harry actually attended the state funeral of our late monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. And if you now know, of course, that His Royal Highness, as he was then, the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, wasn't keen for Meghan to pop up to Balmoral when all the senior members of the British monarchy were paying their very final respects. This resulted in something of a battle royal between his youngest son and himself, as you can imagine. But it's difficult, isn't it? Because whichever way you look at it, right now, Meghan Markle is still part of the royal family. Even though she's been demoted on the royal website to the bottom, you know, she's still there by marriage. And you can understand why Prince Harry wanted to make sure she was in attendance. But, you know, this is what happens in warring families. But moving forward, it's going to be difficult now, because as we've told you recently, it does look like the coronation of His Majesty King Charles III could be around June time. And according to a very good source out in Montecito, both Harry and Meghan want to attend that. Of course they do, you know, it's an historical event. It's also part of their family. As I say, whichever way you look at it, it puts them in a very precarious position, because if His Royal Highness the King does not invite Meghan and Harry, then he looks a bit of a spoilsport. But as we also pointed out, there's going to be a vastly reduced guest list of around 2,000 people. And obviously this could be really offered to senior members of the European households and senior members of the British monarchy, working royals. So perhaps he could get out of it that way. But according to a good source, and as ever we have to say allegedly, Meghan and Harry are confident that they will be invited, because the backlash would look terrible on the world stage for His Majesty if his youngest son wasn't in attendance. So it's very difficult, isn't it, either way? And a lot of people will, you know, disagree with me on this, but Harry and Meghan do have the upper hand on the British monarchy, because they can paint themselves, as they do, as victims, you know, in that narrative of poor us, you know, we were pushed out, you know, all that sort of stuff, even though our late and wonderful monarch basically stated that now infamous line, recollections may vary. She really stamped on that and let people know exactly her thoughts about some of the accusations on both sides. But moving forward, it does look like King Charles will have to keep a very beady eye on his youngest son moving forward, because of course many people within the senior levels of the British monarchy will not wish for that attendance, because the focus will be on Meghan and Harry rather than the coronation of King Charles. It's going to be a real battle moving forward, but apparently a battle that Harry and Meghan feel undoubtedly they could win. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.